So,
I'm
you ready?
I'm ready. Born ready.
Ready to pop your shit?
Yeah, you already know. Got a
All
lot to
right, all
say.
right. So this man here in this box next to me, he ain't showing his face, but this man right here, um, he be having us in here swooning. Cartier, Arthur Cartier. Why? Why do you do it to us girls like that? Like girls like me? Because I'm a little older.
I always say, I try to, entice, entertain, and continuously always give y'all exactly what y'all asking for with these books. Some will like them, some won't, but I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I gotta be crazy with what I write too. It's exciting to always come up with a story that I feel like not only resonates with my. I gotta be crazy with what I write too. It's exciting to always come up with a story that I feel like not only resonates with my audience, that I'm looking for. So I was hoping my last book did that, and it definitely has. It's gotten me a lot of reception. I'll say that.
I'm just saying. I'm just.
Last book did that, and it definitely has. It's gotten me a lot of reception. I'll say that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. A few of us might have slid down a couple of walls, calling us good girls and such.
So I was hearing, yeah, you know, uh, I heard of Damien Ross was having people feeling some type of way in a lot of different ways, actually. So, I take it all in stride. I take it all in stride, though, to be able to create a character or a book that just makes people feel like a lot of different emotions in one setting. So, I smile, I laugh whenever somebody inbox me and be like, you did your thing with this book, but we got to talk about this like opening and, the first chapter and everything. So, you did your thing with this book, but we got to talk about this like opening and, the first chapter and everything. So, I really was something that I was hoping for. So,
True. What do you know about this lifestyle, or did you have to research?
it came with some research, but I think with a lot of my books, there's some experiences there that I can kind of dive from. And this book in particular, like I always wanted to dive into BDSM, and I wanted to create a character that I felt like would not only be the epitome of that, but also be somebody that you would never forget. You know, when I started that first chapter, I was like, it's going to be a book that people are going to talk about for one reason or another. If it's not this opening paragraph, it's going to be the opening chapter or the end or something. Somebody, y'all going to remember this book. So,
So was that the goal to get us in the first chapter? Because I was like, I'm only 1%ing in, sir. It was two. It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
oh, you was asking for that. No, you know where I was laughing so hard when I first initially started that because I wrote and changed it 3 different times. I was like, okay, it don't sound crazy enough for me, and then I came back in and I started to kind of conceptualize the overall theme and the tone of the book, and I said I need this opening statement to give them exactly what the book is going to be, but in a way that just it's gonna be something totally different from anything I've ever put in my books before. And yeah, when I started writing, I started flowing. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be crazy, but I'm keeping it in here because if anything is gonna get a laugh out of some women, it's gonna get some to swoon and really show adoration for it. And then there's gonna be others that's be like, damn, he kind of crazy, his writing style is a little off, but as long as it was entertaining, that's what mattered to me.
So, what's your favorite genre to write?
Absolutely erotica.
Really?
Yeah, when I first joined the industry, it was a genre that was almost in a way pushed on. I don't want to say pushed on to me, but it was something that was suggested to me. Like, what you really should do? You should kind of dive into the erotic genre, and I feel like you would have the swag, the flow for it. And it's been a lot of years. It's going on 10 years being whether published or indie in the book industry, and I think a majority of my books, there have been some that focus more on crime, that focus more on kind of just telling a more emotional story that just kind of stemmed away from the sex. But I have written a lot of erotica since joining the book industry, and I feel like to this point now, making them all feel different is the key, obviously. But there's so much, in my opinion, that I can dive into with erotica. You know, I try to switch it up more, do erotic thrillers. Then there's times where I'll do more of a comedy that, of course, has is heavy in erotica as well. But I would say, yeah, I grew up reading a lot of eroticas. I grew up with Zane, you know, I grew up with Eric Jerome Dickey, God rest his soul. You know, I grew up with these authors who not only were they creating these scenes of sensuality, they were doing it in a way where it was like, oh, like it's humorous, like it's captivating, and that's what I look for from myself as an author. Like I want to always pull y'all in. You know, I want to always be able to not just get y'all with the sex, but also get y'all with the dialogue and get y'all with the kind of the foreplay of it, you know, the build up, the sexual tension. So, you know, I grew up just admiring these authors who could do that. And you would read a book from Eric Jerome Dickey, and yeah, his books would be heavy with sex, but wow, like his flow, you know, the way he goes about detailing these characters, even detailing a scene about just driving down the, you know, the interstate or whatever. It's just wow. I always wanted to be that type of author. So, you know, definitely erotica, but I also love to be able to, I would be able to love to dive into like horror or, you know, thrillers, anything of that nature in the future, but, you know, even sci-fi or something. But, you know, I would say erotica is my bread and butter.
So for you, so I've had this conversation with um other readers, and we were talking about how sometimes you can tell the difference when a man writes a woman character and when a woman writes a woman character. You know, they know themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but you really can't tell with you. Like, was is that hard to write women characters?
Ooh, man, you know, when I first started, I said to myself, okay, the first thing that I want to be able to pinpoint is the voice of a woman. I don't want to ever feel like I'm disparaging or disrespecting uh, women around the world by creating these characters. But I would say it was hard initially because it was my own self doubt. Like, do I sound real? You know, obviously writing from a man's perspective is nothing, but when you're writing from a woman's perspective, you do want to. It can't just sound halfway real. It needs to feel like when you guys are reading these books, you feel like there's a woman talking to you. You know, telling you these stories and. It was difficult more so from a self doubt standpoint, but I always knew like I had a knack for creating characters that could all sound different and unique, whether, you know, man or woman. As I got further into my career, I would write books that were just all from the woman's perspective, no male voice at all, outside of them kind of being a supporting character jumping in and out. So I think it's become more fun for me to write from a woman's perspective. It challenges me. It continues to allow me to grow as a writer. Um, where I'm at now. But I would say initially, yeah, it was like, man, I don't want to. That's the one thing they're gonna get me on in these reviews, especially being a male author. Like, oh, this don't sound like us now, you know. And obviously, I have a lot of
Right.
my community is more so women. You know, I have a lot of supporters, whether from a friend standpoint, you know, my past relationships, my mom, my grandmother, you know, who I love so dearly. Like, they give me a lot of knowledge. And to be able to communicate and converse with women around the world and just learn y'all, you know, the things y'all like, don't like, the things you've been through, like that means everything to me. So that's what keeps me, you know, in this continuous growth of writing from a woman's perspective is always learning and listening and observing and talking, you know, with y'all. So yeah, it's fun for me.
So my question is, what made you fall in love with writing? Because you don't see a lot of men, especially black men,
Hmm.
who are authors. You got a handful.
Yeah. Oh, great question. You know, for me growing up, there were a lot of things that kind of influenced me sticking pen to paper in the first place. You know, losing my uncle was a big deal for me. It was something that was really traumatic, especially at a young age. You know, being 8 at the time when it happened, I didn't know how to communicate that. You know, I was still learning how to communicate about the stuff I was watching on TV, Pokemon and stuff like that, you know. So being able to communicate a tragedy, the only way I really knew how was to create these small short stories that I started writing when I was in that age range. And then growing up, it was more so of a hobby for me. But again, kind of reading these books, whether children's books or the books we weren't supposed to be reading that we would sneak from the library, i.e. the Zanes and things of that nature, it helped me fall in love with the art of writing, just art period. But as I got to be in college, and I was still writing these short stories, and I realized like these stories, I would start to kind of post them on Facebook. I realized like, oh, this is more than a hobby for me. Like this should be my career. This is what I could take and feed my family and feed myself for years and years and years. And entertain
Right.
the world. So as I became more immersed in the world of writing, once I joined the industry itself, and I seen for myself the darkness, the light, the positives, the negatives. I don't know. I fell even deeper in love with it just because this is what I was meant to do. You know, the hardships, the knockdowns, everything doesn't matter. This is what I was meant to do. Being able to communicate with these same authors I grew up reading, going to these book events, seeing the smiles on the readers' faces as they buy these books, stand in these long. I gotta tell you a quick story. So last year was the first year for Romance Con here in Milwaukee. If you guys have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, I would definitely suggest going to check it out. Great event. Last year, Kennedy Ryan was one of the mainly featured authors there. She had a line from I mean it from the beginning of her table all the way to the front entrance, which was like from the hotel, it was a long entrance. So you got this long group of readers waiting in line patiently, talking with each other, creating new relationships with each other while they're waiting in line to see her. That's what I want as an author. That's the type of popularity, I guess you could say, or the success that I want, is to be able to see this long crew of readers here for me. And
Right.
all of that stuff just all kind of unified together to help me fall deeper in love with this business. And, not just from an author standpoint, but as a reader as well, because there's so many talented black indie authors coming up right now. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen such a crop of amazing talent coming in at one time. Every time you turn around, there's a new author, and you're seeing the book spotlighted, and they're creating these new dynamic stories with these awesome looking covers. And God, it just makes me fall in love more with this business too, because I always say there's so much room in this business for everybody. So
It seems like you would have to be a strong male, comfortable in your skin to say, okay, I write books. Because, in this society, they always say the D boys, the the NBA players. That's what they consider to be a real man or a football player or whatever. But to be an author and then to tell girls, hey, I'm an author. I mean, do you get the panties? Do you?
it's
Do
that
you do? Are they swooning when they see you? When they meet you?
the reaction is actually pretty surprising, because it's like a lot of them, yeah, it's the reaction of, why I've never met a male author, or I haven't conversed with a lot of them, or it's like, yo, you do that. It's more so what I write. It's not even just that I write, it's what I write in particular that pulls them in, because it's like, oh, you writing these nasty books, huh? And they give you the winky face and the little smirk and everything. So, but it's also helped me to create new relationships with women around the world. Just being able, I get inboxes almost daily from just readers sending inspirational messages. You can do it. Get your writing in, and it means the world to me. So it's something that I praise, I brag about. I try not to brag about myself too much in the public eye. I'll sit in my classes and nobody will know that I write books. I will barely talk in the class, and I know that's something I shouldn't do. But when I actually do have these conversations with women, and it's like, yeah, I write and everything, it's so many, there's such a field of questions that comes along with that afterwards. So it creates talking points, it creates a chance for people to get to know me. And if you can't get to know me by talking to me, get to know me through my books. So,
But what's fun? But my question. Okay, so are you comfortable with the
oh yeah,
title of author? Like
absolutely, yeah,
I'm a full fledged author in these streets.
hell yeah, yeah. It's something that I wake up sometimes. I still can't really like think like, damn, I've written almost 60 books so far, and it's been such a quick span of time doing that. And it's, yeah, hell yeah, like it's something that I'm proud of, you know Like it's something that you think about. Like writing one book is crazy. Writing almost close to 60 right now, like that's such an accomplishment. Yeah, like it's something that I love to talk about now. It's something that I just having that author in front of my name, seeing my name on books still. I love to talk about now. It's something that I just having that author in front of my name, seeing my name on books still. Even I know I get the question of, are you comfortable, writing from a woman's perspective? I get that one also a lot too. And hell yeah, same with that. Like, I'm in it to win it. So I'm definitely loving where I'm at right now in my career from all aspects.
Is it pressure to write?
Pressure, when there's been times in my career where I felt pressure to write stuff I didn't want to write. I think that's one of the biggest things that I try to separate from with whether finding a publisher or being indie. That's where the pressure comes in. I try not to feel pressure creating now because I know that whether I drop a book consecutively month after month or a couple months in the span of, a few months apart, I know that when I drop something, these readers gonna love it. And I try not to feel too pressured on that note, but I have in the past felt pressured from certain publishers like, yo, you gotta put this out, you gotta write this, you gotta do this, change your pen name, stuff like that. But never so much now where I feel pressured. I try not to put too much pressure on myself, even because that's something a lot of authors do. A lot of authors, they fall into that trap of either comparing and competing or just competing and wanting to have out a lot of work in the span of time somebody else does, or just putting too much pressure on themselves. Like, I gotta drop every month. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta put this type of book out because this is what the readers are talking about right now. Don't do that. Let it flow, stay consistent. What you consider consistent, you stay consistent and just continue to believe in yourself. So the pressure is off me. I wake up, I write, I choose my own schedule, and I just get up and I just create when I feel like creating.
I like that. I like that. Um, are you a reader?
I've been reading so much now. For a while, I kind of got a little too caught up in the writing part of the book industry. Now I'm catching up on a lot of these authors. I'm catching up on some I've been reading for years. India Northfleet. I'm gonna shout out some right now. I hope they watch it. Monica Walters. They, I seen Ivy Simone and all these authors announcing new books. Obviously Gray Huffington. Uh, I'm still reading through a lot of Eric Jerome Dickey's catalog, kind of rereading some of his stuff. Now it's just great to go back and read some classics. Mary B. Morrison, the legendary Quan.
And she was the queen of
Yeah,
nasty.
absolutely. I told you, I'm. This is these books have truly helped me and grown me as an author too. The legendary Quan, as I was going to say, he something of a mentor to me.
Ooh.
I look at him as something of a mentor. I look at him as somebody I can look up to now and converse with. He's great with interacting. He's great with just kind of popping in and out, giving motivation when needed. And I just want to give a shout out to Quan because, us as male authors, we get a stigma sometimes. Like, these male authors weird. They do this and do that and they create controversy. Quan is somebody you don't never hear nothing bad about. He's a guy, he's a stand-up guy, he's a guy that I look up to. He's a guy I wish nothing but the best to. And, and anything he does in the future, any books he drops, I'm buying them ASAP. Quan is the man. And yeah, he's the type of male author I look forward to becoming even more in the future. Like he's somebody that I think everybody should have a conversation with. He knows a lot about this business. So,
The animal series
yeah,
is my favorite.
absolutely. Goes in the Hall of Fame.
That was
I
fire.
told him my show.
Like he still got to finish that series.
Yeah, that joint got to go in the Hall
I
of
need
Fame
him.
for
I
real.
need to know how he go. I need to know how he gonna finish this.
Yeah. Quan always working. You say when he quiet, he working. So I know he working on something hot right now for sure. So much love to Quan.
Absolutely.
Much love to Eric Jerome Dickey. All these guys out here right now. Michael Basin. All these guys I grew up reading that really helped kind of influence me. So
Is it? I know this y'all club is a little small, but when y'all get together, do y'all ever see each other, like get together besides Quan? Like, I think it's what's his name? Oh God, Jesus! I just had his name in my head. S.A. Cosby. You have what is the one that wrote Mr. Landlord? Daniel. Is it Daniel? It's David Weaver.
Hmm.
Do y'all ever, like cross paths?
I haven't had the opportunity to meet these gentlemen yet. I know I will sometime this year. I have a couple of events I plan on attending that I'm sure a few of them will be at. Uh, I think the thing is too that it's rare to see a lot of male authors at events. I know that some do attend them. I don't want to, not put light on those who do attend the events. But I know personally, like I haven't been to any that I've seen a lot of these names that you mentioned already. But I look forward to. I look forward to meeting them, shaking their hands, telling them, the same things I'm telling you right now, being able to tell them to their faces, and tell them how much their books have not only influenced me, but entertained millions of women, millions of people, period. So, I definitely look forward to meeting, the Quines and S.A. Cosby, who's another one that you got to mention. Absolutely phenomenal. There's so many, and right now there's a lot of guys that are coming in that just came in. Lamar's Brown and Michael Baskerville. These guys I want people to pay attention to. They're going to be big names, big deals. Their books are great. I think the world is they're catching on, and things take time. So much love to them as well because they're gonna make it. They're gonna be big time authors in the future. So look out for them as well.
Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Michael Rain. He wrote the Secrets of a Billionaire Bishop. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
men could be so messy. just I know y'all was a little erotic, but I didn't know y'all could be messy too.
Hey, you see from my books, I,
So
I try to put a lot of craziness in there. Outside of the sex, I throw some drama
you
in.
do and do.
Yeah, plot twist, hidden pregnancy there, or crazy woman or crazy guy stalking this person, and getting they comeuppance in the end type stuff. Yeah, we definitely throw a lot of that. Donald Goins, another legendary author. Yeah,
Oh my God.
his books were like that too. From the first chapter, you read it, be like, damn, he was writing. They was writing like this back then. like, but yeah, for
Hmm.
sure, we definitely can have our own. I would say craziness in our books as well. So.
Which character out of your catalog do you identify best with?
Oh, Damian Ross for sure. Damian Ross, I would say Jakari Baltimore from After Sunrise because he was a writer. His way of talking to the women in that book, I thought fit more like me. I think that he was from a career standpoint and just his mentality. I really resonated with him, but definitely Damian Ross from a just from a totally different perspective. So he was one of the, he was I would say he was actually the most fun character for me to create and write. And he's somebody.
Really? Because I was going to ask that. Who was the best character? Who was the easiest character to write, and who's the hardest?
Damien Rush was the easiest. I would say the hardest. Oh, that's a good one. I had a character a long time ago from a book called Little Mama from the Trenches, and her name was Keisha. This was one of the few books in my catalog that I focused more on the struggles of Black women in the world, and I wanted to put a highlight on just. I had three different characters in this book, three different women who had their own stories, but they all in some way intersected with each other. The main character's name was Keisha, and she was a young girl who was dealing with a lot in her household. She was dealing with the guy in the household who was dating her mom, but also sneaking in her bedroom at night. She had the kid at a young age, and just kind of dealing with that struggle and just trying to make ends meet. She's robbing these stores with her young friend, and they're just doing a lot. I think she was hard to write because of just the struggle she was going through, because I know women in real life who've gone through that. And so trying to create create dialogue for this character and the scenes that she went through and her heartbreaking like upbringing, like it made me stop for a minute, like damn, like people really do deal with this. So from that perspective, she would be the hardest character I've written, but also it was a character that needed to be written.
Ooh.
So yeah, I would definitely say Keisha and Damian Ross
Okay.
from two different perspectives.
When you first saw your name on the cover of your first book, what was that feeling like?
It's like walking into a surprise party and you see people from years ago that you haven't seen you, and you have all these people in this room all celebrating you. You know, it kind of gave me a feeling of like it was a feeling of accomplishment. It was a feeling of motivation. Seeing my name on one, I want to see my name on another one. It was a
Mm-hmm.
feeling of, yo, this is it. Like, there ain't no turning back now. My book is out. People are gonna read it. Some people are gonna like it. If you won't, these are I just got to get ready for this. And I still feel like that to this day. Anytime I see my book pop up on Amazon, just putting it out, I still get that rush. Like, hey, here we go. Like I get the panic pacing around the room. All right, hitting the button, everything, trying to calm myself, because to this day, that's just such an amazing feeling. It's such an exciting feeling. It's like graduating. It feels like it's something that you accomplish something, but it's only the beginning.
Do you ever want to be traditionally published?
That's a main goal for me in the future. Traditionally published, putting out audiobooks, having one of my books inside of a bookstore is one of the few things that still hasn't happened. That will happen. God's blessing, God's grace. If that when we're talking about seeing my name on a book, now seeing my name on a book inside of a bookstore in the front of the store, presented the way they present them in Barnes and Noble when a book just gets put out and they got the big posters hanging for it and everything. That's what I look forward to the most, is feeling that, because that's going to be a whole new level of excitement for me. So I definitely look forward to traditionally published. I'm looking forward to everything that brings me challenge wise. I'm looking to continue to be challenged in this industry. I think a great challenge creates growth and it creates even greater character.
So I had a interview recently with author Z Renee,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about collaborations, and I asked her, um, who would she love to collaborate with? Guess whose name came up?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Hey, you know what? I've been, this year seems to be the year for collaborative projects and conversations on the topic, because I was talking to India Northfleet a while back, and yeah,
First of all, that was gonna be bananas if you collab with India.
yes, that's something that a lot of readers were getting hyped up about. So I offer. I'm gonna say this right now to any author who wants to in some way work together, collab on something. I am open season on that. I look forward to working with a few authors in the future, being able to, whether it's a project, a duo project, or some type of anthology. Hey, bring it on. Let's do it.
I loved it. I loved it. Um, what is the ingredient of a good sex scene?
Mm. Creativity, detail, passion, patience, and remembering to not force anything. When you create these scenes, you want this to be the part where you go into the deepest part of your imagination. You bring up the things from your past. Everybody got that one person that hit it right. Whether it's an ex, whether it's the person you with now, whether it's somebody you had a one nighter with and you just didn't even take their name, you just went to the hotel, did your thing. That's it. You never said a person again. To anybody who wants to write a book about that, by the way. But a great sex scene needs to be, I think people need to remember that you want to try to put enough personal experience in it to make it feel real. And what I mean is, you go and when you're describing these scenes, think about the person who was kissing down your back perfectly, like they lips felt like just pillows on you. They felt like you were being massaged by another person. Physical anatomy. Like, don't think so much of I'm just creating this scene and I got to script it out and I got to make it sound so great. Just let it flow. Let it flow. Be detailed. Be passionate with it. Add a little dialogue here and there. Have them get talked through it. Talk the women through it, fellas. talk these women through it. They want to be talked through it. They want to be told they pretty. They want to be told they're gonna make something of themselves in the future. Do that too. Come on now, fellas. Let's do this now. So I think that with my sex scenes, I try not. I don't want them to sound robotic. I don't want them to sound like a scene from another book, obviously, but I also want them to feel real. Like, when Damian Ross and Morgan were doing their thing in Good Girl, Better Taste, I wanted to conceptualize his toughness, but her toughness too. She wasn't backing down from him.
Oh, not at
She was
all.
just as ready. Yeah, she was just as ready for him as he was for her. And I like to have that type of chemistry where she might not be shy. She not gonna sit on the edge of the bed and wait for him to say, come over here. She might tell him, why your drawers still on? you know. So I wanna sometimes sex scenes can they be a little humorous too. It's however you want it, but you just don't want to make it sound forced. You don't want it to sound like it's just it's a sex scene. Let me get through it. You gotta. That's where you really gotta go crazy. Drink a sip of wine first or something. Do something. Whatever you gotta do to loosen up. But you definitely want to make those sex scenes as passionate and detailed and descriptive and as steamy as possible. Don't hold back. I don't care what nobody says. Don't hold back.
Exactly. I love it. I love that. Um, so, okay, so this just came in my mind. What do your family think about the books you write? Are they like,
My
my son nasty? Or my son is
they try.
creative?
They kind of overall they generalize their support for my books. They're just like, congrats, and they try not to talk too much about because they know what I write, but and that'd be such a conversation to be having with my mom anyway. So they just typically generalize their overall support and enthusiasm for what I do, and it's just more like, oh, congratulations, keep it going, and keep pushing yourself to the top, and it's just stuff like that. But they ain't gonna be sitting here saying, so that scene in chapter 5,
Do they
but
read
thank
your
God for
stuff?
it. My grandmother she has a few of my books on her shelf. She
Not your
was the first.
grandmama.
Yeah, but these were my first indie projects when I first joined the industry. So since then, she still supports. She'll support anything, even if it's more from a paperback standpoint, just to have it. My mom is the same way. She just likes to have my books on her shelf, and she likes to just see the same with me. Like she likes to see my name on a full book because she grew up. My mom was a big Eric Jerome Dickey fan. She was a huge Donald Goines fan. She was Mary B. Morrison. She has all of these authors on her shelf, and just to see her son being next to those authors for her is a big deal. So she buys them just to see my name on the shelf, and that's all you can ask for. You can ask for the support from your community and your fam, even if it's just buying some stuff or just saluting me every now and then. Can't
But
complain
it
about
is
it.
a big deal. You do know that. It is a huge deal
Yeah,
when you can say, this is my child. And I know I like these authors, but my child is sitting right next to him.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's crazier to think about it when I mention how many I've written. Like my grandmother, you'll hear her talking to some of her friends. She works at a bar. She's a bartender, and my grandson, he done wrote like 55. She never gets the accurate number down. She'll, he done wrote about 55, and then the next time it'll be he done wrote about 70 books, and it's like you're in the ballpark. Thank you at least for
As long as
acknowledging
you're
that I'm
somewhere
doing a lot of.
close.
Yeah, it's somewhere close. You got it. So
I'm
it's
hollering.
definitely a big deal to have that support, and it keeps me going as well. I do think that with us, not everybody's going to take what we do seriously. That's just something, that's one of the hardships authors have to deal with from the people closest to them. They're not going to take writing seriously. That's a hobby to them. It's something we're just doing to pass the time to them. To us, it's money, it's a career, it's a legacy, it's, a brand. And we take what we do seriously. Not everybody is going to see it that way because they come from more of the, clock in, clock out. And obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But they become so used to that type of mentality or lifestyle that they see what we do is, man, that ain't nothing, yo. You ain't doing nothing. You just typing, man. You got to go do this, to go do that. So to have family support you and tell you that what you do is important to them too, it matters. It definitely matters more than what people say it does. And especially to me, it matters too.
Good. I love that. So, are you an outliner or are you a pantser?
I definitely outline more than I did before. It actually kind of helps me from a mental standpoint. It's almost like journaling for me. When I notebook out and I write on my notebook and outline these characters, even the smallest details about them, from the birthmarks to the height to whatever, it just it helps me keep my story not even just comprehensive. It keeps it to where I can go back and pull this stuff up a year from now and say, I remember when I first started writing this book. What's up, everybody in the chat? I remember when I first started detailing out this book, and now I could go back and say it's a full book. It's a full length novel. You can get it on Kindle through Kindle, or get it on my website, paperback wise or whatever. That's a dream for me. So outlining these books out is fun, but it also helps me to kind of remember things in the back of my mind too. If I write it a few times, it helps me to remember it, even if I don't go off of the specific outline on paper. I'm going to at least, have this to go back to. It's like just a cheat sheet. You know what I'm saying? So definitely outline. I recommend people outlining just for fun sometimes. It can help you more than you think.
All right.
And shout outs
Are
to
you,
Cammy as well, real quick. Cammy is in the chat, and I want to talk about her real quick because I'm sorry to
let's
cut some
go.
time into this, but I got
Listen,
to.
this is your
This
time.
woman, uh, I appreciate you. This woman she started off a reader. It's like a lot of us, through TikTok, through just supporting everybody else. I watched this woman drop a book, and not only did she just put this book out, but I mean, thousands of reviews, endless support, endless love, amazing work. So if you guys have never read, you should have already. But if you've never read a Cami book, please read a Cami book.
That
You
part.
know,
Get
because
into
she's
her
awesome.
catalog because her catalog is fire.
Fire. So definitely get into her. She's another one. Again, when I bring up these indie or these up and coming authors, these authors that have been just grinding and putting in so much work and just passionate and supportive, and they're what you want in this business. The epitome of excellence to me is somebody who not only believes in themselves, but they make sure to also tell others they believe in them too. And that's what Cammy does as well. So, definitely look out for Cammy. Just, you're going to hear her name a lot.
Listen, her name's already ringing bells. I don't even know why you talk about you gonna hear her name. It's ringing bells already.
Oh, yeah. Ringing bells is going to continue to for years and
Well,
years
at
and
least in
years.
my
We
at
talk
least in
about,
my book streets, they ring, it's ringing
yeah,
bells.
yeah, she's
Okay,
definitely dope. So
okay.
shout out to Cammy for sure. Because, yeah, she's an incredible person. So
Do you read and watch reviews?
I try not to go through my reviews anymore. I have a dark history with going through reviews. I did I one time, and speaking of Little Mama from the Trenches, I had this real crazy review, negative review, and I mean negative capital. Like, this person left a full paragraph letting me know that I wasn't shit in so many words or less, and I just didn't understand it. But as I got a little bit further into the industry, I realized that I kind of peep. I'll keep track of the number of reviews and ratings. I think that's where I'll leave it. It's like, okay, I got 220 or 300 or whatever. It's motivating. But then when you start going into the actual reviews and you just so happen to see a couple that might be 1 or 2 stars, it's like, let me go pull away from that, because it can be very detrimental to our mental state, even when we try not to admit it. Um, so I try to stay out of that. I try to stay out of that bubble now. But I'll keep track from a perspective of how many I got, but not so much going in and read them. I do know that, reading your positive reviews can bring you back up. If you've been feeling kind of down and you've been feeling like you kind of trapped in your head, you can't really seem to figure out what's next. You might be questioning yourself for whatever reason. I think reading a couple of your 5-star reviews, your longer ones especially, can help you. It can help remotivate you. So, yeah, I would
I
say do that, but just kind of
I
go ahead. Oh, I'm
sometimes
sorry. Go
wondered
ahead.
if y'all see my reviews sometimes because I'll be like, because I don't post. I try not to post bad reviews. Again, everybody teaches on. I just prefer to if I feel like I read the book and it just didn't hit with me, I'll just post that I read it. But if it if it needed some work, and not that I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professional or anything, I'll be like, hey, this timeline didn't match up, or I don't know if you knew that, or this plot, it just, the character development was a little off. Maybe you might want to work on that going forward. But I try not to,
Right.
and I don't, when I send stuff like that to authors, I'll ask them, do you want my honest opinion? And if they say no, I keep that shit to myself.
Yeah.
you know
As you should.
but
As you should.
But if it's a three, I don't even rate the 3 stars. I might be like, this is rated N for nasty. This is rated MENFM. It'll have a whole thing what it
Yeah.
means. That's my rating. So I think I'm gonna go back to that. But you need a church hat, but because I'm out of town, I don't have any hats with me. Oh yeah,
Well, you know,
oh yeah.
hey,
You need a
I
you need that blue hat.
I done got a couple of hats before. So, but you know what?
Listen, if you get a hat from me,
Yeah, I done did something.
you done did something.
I take it all this stride. I love it. I definitely love it.
And
And
if
you're
I
not
call your
wrong.
name 87
With
times
you,
in 1 minute, you done did something.
big facts. And that's what's important, though. It matters. You know, I think it does help to have somebody pull you to the side. I never have a problem with somebody privately messaging me and be like, "Yo, this was a great book, but FYI, you know, there was a line here, there was, repeated word or something like that." They're not trying to be mean or, mean spirited or malicious with what they're doing. But to be able to keep that in mind, because I mean, I can go back and edit it and re-upload it or whatever, but it does help you remember, okay, you know what? Let me take my time with this next one, read it over just a little bit more, because us as authors, we're going to read over our stuff 1,000 times, right? And we are still going to miss something. It
Right,
happens, yo. Like, it's not a make or break for books. It can be if it's a continuous cycle throughout the entire book,
right.
like words missing, big time words missing too. But when somebody messages me, and whether it's a positive review or it's a little bit of critiquing mixed in with positive, like but great book, but also this or that, it helps, and I appreciate that because you took the time to reach out to me personally instead of going on some type of group or, one of these reading groups and being like, this nigga's book was so bad. Nobody read this ever. Like, I would rather you tell me privately so that 1,000 other readers don't be like, you know what, you right, I ain't gonna read it. And as a matter of fact, I don't like him anyway.
Right.
It allows other people to be able to get a chance to read something, because just because one person doesn't like something doesn't mean the next person won't like it. You know what I mean? Like, two other people gonna like your book, one other person might not. But that one other person should not have the influence to tell those other two people, don't read this because it's bad. Because,
My thing is, it
some
may
people
not
like
be for
crap.
me. It wasn't for me, but it might
Yeah,
be for you. Check it out.
absolutely. There you go. Yep. Everybody's got their person, they rep their preferences. They've got the books and genres that they typically go to first, tropes they typically go to first, and that's okay. This is a huge industry with millions and millions and millions of readers. Millions of readers I still haven't met yet. Millions of readers who have no idea who I am. They will soon. And that's the fun part about this industry, is that there's always more readers out there to attract. So that's why the job is never done. Promotion's never done. Marketing is never done. Always promote your backlog, authors. Anybody in this chat right now that is an author, remember, promote those backlogs. I don't care when you drop this book. Promote them damn backlog. You
Keep
better
it,
come up
keep
with
them, keep
something.
them current.
Better keep on talking about it. You never know, because a book that you wrote 5 years ago could go back on the charts like it never left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just dropped all over again. And it's all it takes. I always say word of mouth is everything in this industry. One mouth can lead to 1,000 more.
That's it.
You just have to keep talking about your stuff, keep bringing your stuff up, keep promoting, keep creating new flyers, have your community. And this is another thing, y'all, if you have author friends, if you have people in this business you are friends with, or you call your sister, your brother, whoever, promote their stuff too. Surprise them
Woo!
with it.
Preach a
That's the
word.
best. It's an early birthday gift to a lot of authors. Create a flyer for your friend. Like, you know what? They ain't up yet. I'm gonna hurry up and promote this real quick for them. And then when they wake up, they gonna see a bunch of readers on their stuff before they can even get the crust out their eyes. That helps a lot. Do not be afraid to promote somebody else's work. It's not going to take readers away from your work. You're going to still have the same amount of readers if you share somebody else's link, say, read this, you're going to love it. We never stop being readers. I don't care how many books you got. I don't care how many books you've written. You're readers first, always. Keep being readers. Promote somebody else's work every now and then, especially your friends, because we all trying to eat. I want to be able to go to Jamaica, and I want you to come with me. Let's both. We finna use our royalties,
Exactly.
half our royalties, and let's go and do something. So
Exactly.
talk
I
about your
love
friends
that.
too. Get them in the room with
It
you.
don't hurt
Yeah,
nothing.
don't hurt nothing at all. We supposed to be a family, and I know that's easier said than done, but I don't care if you're a male author, you're a beautiful woman in this business who writes amazing stuff. I'm going to support and share as many times as I can. You know, I've seen some, I don't even know all of these authors personally, but I know their names. And the reason I know their names is because I've either shared their work, read their work, or seen their work pop up. And I'm going to hit the like button. And then I'm going to get in the comments and be like, yeah, they books are dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, even just because I see that somebody's promoting their work, I'm gonna jump in and be like, yeah, you should read this. It's smooth. Versus me getting on there and trying to be negative about it, or throwing some shade or whatever, or ignoring it or whatever. Bless you too, by the way.
Thank you.
And so I just feel like that should be more of a necessity in the business today. We can all help each other. It don't got to be all this dissension or
It
hatred,
don't.
separating, from groups and everything. Nah, I'm gonna share everybody's stuff. You know, I'm gonna try to talk about as many people as possible. If I can't, just know I support you. Keep your head up, keep writing, and keep dreaming because you can do it.
That's it. That's the word for the day. And good night, y'all. No, I'm just playing.
Exactly.
So, quick question. What would your readers be shocked to know about you?
Oh, oh man, that's a good question there. Uh, I would say, I guess, man, I gotta think about that. I'm gonna be random about this and this is gonna be the most random thing I've ever said to anybody, but I think it's important to. I am allergic to oranges. Very random. I am allergic to oranges, orange juice, can't drink, can't eat none of it. And I get jealous sometimes because y'all can eat that and I can't. But yeah, that is one of my biggest allergies. It has put me in the hospital twice when I didn't realize I was an
Ooh,
allergy. Yeah. Some random fun fact about me. I cannot eat oranges. I kind of fear saying that now because somebody might try to plan my death by saying, you know what?
listen, y'all better leave this
It
man
has pissed me
alone.
off. Let me go get this vitamin D real quick. No, but for real though. Also something about me. I have actually only attended one book event in my career so far. I have only ever been to a physical book event once. It was Romance Con here in my hometown. And that's where I was able to see Nicole Falls. Shout out to Nicole Falls. Casey Mills was there. Shout out to Casey Mills. Kennedy Ryan was there, of course. There is another author, Monique Fisher. I was actually able to help her with a lot of her work. She was just another awesome author. But that was actually the only book event I've actually ever attended. I was trying to attend Jessica Watkins' Chicago Expo last year. And yeah, I don't really want to talk about how I missed that event, even though I was in Chicago. But it was my fault. But I'm gonna go back this year and actually attend. I'm trying to make it to the Gem Awards this year. K. Renee, my publisher. Shout outs to the awesome, the GOAT, legendary Karen Renee, has done so much for this business. She's so amazing, such a sweetheart. She has contributed to a lot of the good, the award shows, everything of that nature. Karen Renee, if you don't know her, go check her out. You should know her, but go check her out. I love her. She is an amazing publisher. But yeah, I've only attended one actual book event,
And so
surprisingly.
you're gonna be
Everybody else,
outside this year.
oh yeah, oh for sure. Oh, for sure. I got them all lined up. There's going to be a couple of events I'm not going to even mention here because I want to surprise people and pop up and be a reader. pull my hat back and just be like, give me every book on this table, and I mean it. And I swear to God, I'm gonna be at so many tables trying to get as many books as possible. So if you are a masterpiece or an Aisha Bree or
Ooh,
an India
yeah.
Norfleet or a Cami or a Monica Walters or an S. Yvonne, I can go on forever and ever and ever, but I'm gonna stop there.
That's what
Just
I'm talking about.
be
I
on the
love
lookout
it.
for you. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your books. I'm coming to get as many as possible. You might as well sign up for me now because I'm coming and I'm gonna get as many as possible. So y'all keep on putting them books out. And so many beautiful, like these covers. As a cover designer myself, I see so many great covers with a lot of these. Like Masterpiece, The Filth Kings. That cover was dope. A lot of Masterpieces covers are always dope, but I just want to shout out the cover designers in the business as well because they don't get a lot of. I think they get credit, but they also kind of get slept on because when you see these books, you think about the author, but you don't always think about the designer. So, whether you're an Aisha Bree or you're a K Nicole or whoever, I'm gonna just keep spouting off names as many times as I can to people that I want y'all to check out and support their stuff. But
I love it.
yeah, definitely check out these cover designers. They're doing great stuff for show, and yeah, I look forward to meeting people this year.
Ciao. Okay. Question. Well, not a question. It's an action. Describe
Okay,
yourself in one word.
unforgettable.
Oh, ooh.
Absolutely unforgettable. You will read a book from me and never forget my name ever again. You
And no lies are told.
like, and that's as cocky as I'm gonna get. You gonna read a book from me and you're never gonna forget my name. Some people will they will see my name but not know how to pronounce it, right? And
Please
that's
tell the people how to
understandable.
pronounce your name.
Cartier. So, and I'm gonna say it again, Cartier.
So you
I've heard
know
it
we
pronounced
called
a
your
lot of
name
different ways.
everything but that when we first got into your
Yeah,
catalog. You
I done
ain't
heard a
said
lot of different. I
nothing.
done heard every name in the book. I didn't, and it's not something that I take as disrespect because I understand it. I have corrected a lot of people about my name throughout my childhood growing up, so it is understandable. But I think when you read something from me, you will, from that moment on, you will always remember me because I'm gonna leave you with something. I always say this is one of my favorite phrases today is I'm leaving with something. And in this industry now, where I stand, and a lot of people, I'm not trying to blow smoke in my own ass here, but I've seen this mentioned with my name a couple of times throughout the last month, where people are calling me now one of the hottest male authors in the game.
Ain't
And
lied. Ain't no lies
I
told.
first off want to send gratitude to all of y'all who believe in that because I believe in that as well. I know I have come up very. It's a slow come up, but it's a come up nonetheless. And God's patience is everything, and God's timing is everything. So, um, I feel genuinely that if you read even the first paragraph of any of my books from that moment on, you will know my name. And if you don't know it yet, you're gonna know it. So I'm unforgettable because I'm leaving with something. You go one day, you might not have liked the last one, but you're gonna like the next one I'm gonna put out for sure. That's always
That
my goal.
part. But if you don't big you up, who gonna big you up? This car pop your shit for a reason.
Hey, that's big facts. And I've definitely have learned to do that more from who I was in my past life in terms of my career. I was the meat guy. I was kind of in the background. I would promote. I would talk my shit when it came to my work, and just the way I promote now in terms of talking women through it just through the previews of my books and giving y'all what y'all finna get through these books through me. When I promote on TikTok and I do my videos and stuff, I want y'all to know that like you about to read something that's about to be very wild. It's like walking into, they have these sex clubs and everything like that in real life. It's like walking into one of those and you were blindfolded, somebody takes the blindfold off and you just, what the hell is this? And it's not bad, but when you open one of my books, just know what you got coming, with me. It's always going to be some wild. So I'm unforgettable.
Listen, I love that. So that I have a question,
Hmm.
and I like to hear authors take. I think I may have asked one man this. Define your idea of the great American novel.
I believe a great American novel is one that not only resonates, and I'm talking personally now, resonates with your soul, with your heart, with your mind. It's one that has a great story. It's one that is a story you can comprehend, you can understand, but you can also emotionally connect to. It's one that you will have on your shelf forever. You go back, and I'm talking about prime example. Let's talk about Demon's Dream, L. Kaysen. Any book with Jaquel on it, Auntie Jaquel. Shout outs to Jaquel. Absolutely a go in this. God, I love seeing where she's at right now. I love seeing the growth. I love seeing just the success and the immense love and adoration. If I were to name a book that would truly define a great American novel, I'm looking at A Demon's Dream. I'm looking at anything Capri, anything Jaquel has put out over the last year. I'm talking about Tasha's Got a Baby by Eshivon. I'm talking about these books that are so memorable. They make you cry, they make you laugh, they make you do both at the same time. They make you sweat, they make you need a cold shower, they make you want to talk to everybody about them. They make you cry when you meet these authors. These authors become just national celebrities to you. That is a great American novel to me. That is a novel that will stand the test of time. As I said earlier with Kwan's books, we mentioned Animal series, you mentioned, some
First
of
of
the
all, he
most,
is one of them.
yeah, he is a
I've
Hall of
said
Fame.
that repeatedly.
Yeah, we have a Black Authors Hall of Fame, something that I would love to see conceptualized. I think that'd be dope. Quan is number one, first ballot. Ashley Antoinette, people like this, they have created the exact example of what a great American novel is to me. I see people in the comments right now saying Tosh Got a Baby had him crying. Hey, listen, I tell Eshivon this all the time. That as many amazing books that she's put out, that is one of the greatest things I've ever read in my life. It really just like, damn, it makes you think of how great and how talented a lot of these authors are. Wow, is yeah. So that's my long extended answer to that, but that's what I would think a great American novel is for me.
Okay. Uh, if okay, fill in the blank. Let's do that. Um, Blank is life.
Sex.
Anything at all. Sex. Why did I die? Why did I work my ass into that one?
Y'all know me now.
Okay. My pen is
Immaculate.
all right. All right. All right. Where do you see Cartier in 5 years?
At the top of the book industry, getting ready to make either my first, second, or third movie, and maybe starring in one too.
You know what? What book do you want to see in a movie?
Good Girl, Better Taste, Nirvana Ave, Little Mama from the Trenches, or a longer version of my Winter Crest book that I recently put out because I thought that story was really, really dope as well.
Rowdy, you in here? I see you in here. You might want to hook up with Rowdy because you know she is taking book to film.
Okay, okay.
You might want to slide in her DMs. Yes, ma'am. I'm always gonna shout you out, ma'am.
Oh, it's
Yes,
always, yeah, got to be.
yes, yes, yes. So you might want to check Rowdy out because she is taking book to film.
All right, all right. Shout outs to you too, by the way. That's always a great transition to make as an author. So definitely,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely shouting her out too.
All right, all right. Okay. Name something everybody loves that you hate.
It's gonna give me a lot of hate. It's a cereal, cinnamon toast crunch. Everybody loves it.
I don't. But
I cannot. I think it's overrated. I don't know why I never liked them. I was always a bigger freaking honey nut Cheerios type, and yeah, so overrated cereal, cinnamon toast crunch. I don't like it. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got to fight me. Y'all got to jump me.
that is hilarious. All right. My favorite question. 5 authors, dead or alive, that you would like to invite to dinner.
Donald Goins, Eric Jerome Dickey, Quan, Jacquel, Zane.
Okay, can I cook the dinner? Can I serve? Can I bartend something? Because I need to.
You got to be there for that. That's
I gotta be there. I just
legend.
want to be a fly on the
Legend.
wall.
Yeah, you gotta. That would be just off of a couple of those names alone would be a memorable dinner. But then you throw in a wild card like Donald Goins, who, from everything I've heard about him, just from his wordplay, just off his storytelling and his personality, that would be, yeah, yeah. So R.I.P. to Donald Goins for sure.
Wow. All right, you ready to pop your shit?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So where you come? Where you gonna be at that you could tell us?
You can look for me at in the Chicago Expo, Jessica Walk in September. I will be back at Romance Con in hometown of Milwaukee. I want y'all to please show up. Okay. There was a great turnout last year. It was a great event. A lot of Auntie Ja Quail is going to be there. Y'all got to show up and support Ja. She is dope. Y'all got like turn up, turn out, get those books, let her sell out in like 5 minutes, which I'm sure she will anyway. But yeah, Romance Con in Milwaukee. Uh, I'm looking at the Gym Awards for show. You know, even if it's just to attend the awards itself. I missed it last year. I hate that I did. Everybody looked so like just amazing and beautiful and looked like they were having such a great time. I wish I could make Esteban's event in Miami. I won't be able to. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can definitely find me in the Midwest. You know, there's an event in Detroit. I'm gonna get back to you on. I know I just seen an advertisement for it. I think it's in August. I'm gonna try to slide there because Detroit is not that far from me either. But other than that, yeah, like I said, surprise, surprise. You ain't gonna never know where you gonna see me at. You might see me at the Black Romance Book Fest. You might see me somewhere else. You never know. Southern Hearts. You never know where I might be. I might just, pop up and show out and buy a bunch of books. So
All I'm gonna tell you is, we going to Vegas. Well, like me, the Boozy Book Tour is going to Vegas 2026 in February.
and that's another fun fact about me. I ain't never been to Vegas before. So that'd be an interesting.
I'm just saying, it's 3 days of foolishness and mayhem.
And that's what I'm signing up for. You sign me up for all the foolishness and mayhem.
We gonna sell some books.
Yeah.
We gonna sell some books. Look. Like I'm like, listen. I'm gonna promote them because when I tell you I had a wonderful time. Storm and Shannon did that. It was such a good time for me, and I got a chance to meet some of the authors that I've been swooning over. It was a good time. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Because Jacquel will be there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Auntie Josh, shout outs to her for sure. It's gonna be a great year for Black authors altogether. These events are meant to not just be for us; it's meant to be for y'all. We are just there to pretty much be vendors and sell, but also connect and network. But it's for y'all. The readers are, you'll go in, and I want to just take this time to show appreciation to all of the readers and Black Book Talk especially. I have been seeing a lot of controversy with Black Book Talk and a lot of things said, a lot of people saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. I just want to shout out every single creator, every single reader. Y'all are a huge part of this industry, more than people even realize. Y'all are everything to us. We cannot do what we do without the love and the support and just continuing to see y'all, you know, continuing to build your followings, continuing to talk and converse, and Britt with her books, and Storm and everybody. I just love seeing y'all, celebrate and support these Black authors. Yo, we thank y'all. We love y'all for this. Keep doing y'all thing. I'm so happy that TikTok is still around, despite everything that's going on around that. Just so Black Book Talk can continue to thrive and grow. That's what this is all about. We're supposed to be. This is a family here. We all, are here together. So thank y'all. Every single reader out there who reads our stuff, who critiques, who reviews, who continues to jump on every book, who continues to make posts about us in these groups, these positively at least in these, reading groups, and continue to show out for us. Thank y'all. We can't do this without y'all. Y'all are a huge asset and a huge part of this business, a huge part of the industry. And I love y'all personally. So thank y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's Black Content Creators Day. Happy Black Content Creators Day, y'all.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Where can folks find you? What social sites are you on? Website?
You can find me on TikTok, of course. I'm trying to get back into consistently making videos on here. Even if it's just something, I'm gonna start going live. I promise. I'm gonna start going live at some point. You never know what these live videos gonna consist of, though. So just pour a drink and get ready to just chill with me. And we
Oh,
just talk about it.
Lord.
Yeah. Facebook, you can find me under my real name, Quardeay Julian. You can find me. I have two pages. There's one that's Author Quardeay, then there's my full name. I'll add you from either one. Twitter, X, whatever people want to call it now. Find me on Author Quardeay on there as well. Instagram, Author Quardeay as well. So yeah, you can find me pretty much everywhere. My website, you can type in Author Quardeay's books. If you want a pre-made, I've been putting myself on these covers now and trying to get that journey going, just to give authors fresh, material, fresh product, fresh covers. If they want to use a model you ain't never seen on the cover before, I'm all ears. I'm all, just hit me up. I'll make something happen for you. So
I'm just saying, he didn't put it out there,
just,
authors, he said he'll be a model.
you can go find my old covers somewhere on my website and see for yourself what I look like on a cover. Now I ain't, lying to y'all.
We looking at you kind of like right now. We see a picture.
Well, hey, I'm trying to get deeper into that part of my career again, creating these covers for authors and having my own models, so it won't even just be me on the covers. You might see some other Black dude and beard and golds. It used be somebody I know or somebody I hired to do the job. So you never know. Just keep it, just giving y'all a little warning right now. But yeah, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Author Quardeay as well. I'm rarely on there, but you can find me on there as well. I'm trying to get used to the app. And yeah, that's pretty much everywhere you can find me. Of course, you can find me through Kindle Unlimited, Amazon. Type in my first name, you'll see all my stuff pop up, starting probably with Good Girl, Better Taste. And then it just goes all the way down. I got to keep bringing that book up. Go read Good Girl.
I'm just saying, it's an extensive list, y'all.
Go read Good Girl, Better Taste. It ain't
yes, and let me tell you something. If I'm just gonna tell you now, that first chapter is gonna get you.
It's gonna have you feeling.
It's gonna get you.
Yeah,
it's gonna get you, and you're gonna slide down the wall of several.
So if you can't take my word for it, take hers for sure. She let me know what she was thinking now.
I'm just saying, first of all, you got me stuttering. It's 1:00 in the morning. I'm trying to pack to go to my next destination, and I'm trying to listen. And sir, if I get to Quardeay, you know something wrong. You know something going on. I've read something. I was only 1% in.
Oh wow, yeah. Listen, I told y'all like I was coming when I first started advertising and marketing that book. I told y'all y'all not ready for this. You think you're ready, but you ain't ready for what Damien finna bring to y'all. So
first of all, you do know that I was like, if that man called me a good girl, I promise you, I'm gonna fall out this chair.
And it's and I had to make sure Morgan threw it right back at him. Called him a good boy and gave him gave him his.
And I fell out the chair. I was like, she better do it. But what I did not expect was that uh the thing in the end.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
expect that.
I tell you, and I'll throw it out here now with Good Girl, Better Taste, the overall, just the book, the project, the continuation. There was a few hints of continuations going on, while it was more so a standalone book. You get that ending that's like, okay, I can hit my cig or my blunt or my cigar now. I'm good. But in that epilogue, there's a little hint that the story ain't necessarily over yet with a few characters. So I'm gonna just throw that out there right
Yeah,
now.
I need to know what's going on with that one.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a Good Girl Better Taste is only the beginning. I'll say that. And if you thought,
Is it still gonna stay in the genre of erotica?
oh, absolutely, come on now, you already
My
know.
little brother? Oh, hold on. I'm trying
Yeah,
not to give it away.
yeah, I just I gotta let you know if you thought that the way it started in the Good Girl Better Taste book, yeah, if you thought that was crazy, you ain't seen nothing yet. So
Oh Lord, here we go. Here
just a
we
warning, just a
go.
warning.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Pop Your Shit.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to converse with you. I'm always up for these because it allows me to show my personality and talk for a little bit. So thank you.
Yes, and I need people to see your face next time.
Oh, they will. Yeah, I make sure my hair is cut and everything. Might even have a goals in or something. You'll see my face.
You know what? Don't put listen, sir. Don't be trying to do nothing to this old lady sitting on the side of you. We're not doing that. No, no. Leave the goals out.
But I definitely thank y'all, and I want to send love to everybody again, every author, every Black author. It's Black History Month, damn it, still. Every
That
Black
part.
author in the game, male, beautiful ladies, continue to write, continue to do your thing, continue to believe in yourself. Remember that you're amazing. Remember that nobody can tell you how talented you are but yourself. You know how great you are. You know what you can do. Keep doing it. Keep promoting yourself. Keep a positive mind for this. Do not give up on yourself. Okay. And yeah, continue to promote those backlogs. And I love y'all. I salute and support y'all. And I look forward to conversing and meeting y'all in the future.
Well, let me pop my shit before we leave this podcast. Friday, I have Arthur J. Jones. If y'all have not read J. Jones, I'm gonna need y'all to go find something in her catalog and read it because she is absolutely bananas. Her pen is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you it's a plot twist after plot twist, and then it twists over again to plot up under another twist, yeah, she's that author. She is that author. So make sure you guys are on Friday, and then Sunday I have Charity Shanae. I'm hitting. I'm telling you, I was coming with the big dogs. I'm coming with the big dogs. So y'all make sure y'all check us out Friday with Jay Johnson, Sunday with Charity Shanae. Thank you again for coming on to Pop Your Shit. March 20th is my birthday. I will be giving away 55 plus books for my 55th birthday. So, come, I think it's Monday, I will be putting in how you can enter. So make sure that you follow the directions. Okay? And I think that's it for me. Y'all, thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Quardeay, thank you again. Happy reading, y'all. Bye.